acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew, or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe shouldn't have been. And yeah.
She had the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
You can dismiss
an hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know
right.
They were people that, definitely should have been looked at, and yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity that, that's not what we're honing in on here.
Look, what's your takeaway when you look at this? It looks like a pretty typical scene for college students, but does the clutter, the disorganization, does that make it harder or easier to find evidence?
Well, Jack, it makes it more difficult for law enforcement, but you're right, it is a typical college room. They're shared by, at least now we know, 6 students. But when we look at this complete scenario here, what is taking place, it is, we get more from the family about what is taking place than we are getting from law enforcement. But when you look at the inside or the interior of that home, where you have really 3 stories, and the killer's killing took place on the 2nd floor, and on the 3rd floor, it leads me to believe that it was someone who had some knowledge of that home. And if you are on the 1st floor, the only way you can get into this home is through the front door. If you're on the 2nd floor, where at least 2 of the individuals were killed, you can get in through the back door, which is a sliding glass door. But whoever killed these 4 students certainly would have been covered in blood. And I would hope that what the authorities would do is put out more information that the public can use other than just this targeting, because this targeting has been very contradictory. At one stage, they said that the students or the house was not targeted. If those were not the targets, then what was or who was the target? And so you've got a frustrated community out there that has not been given enough information.
Yeah. Ted, in one of those pictures that we saw, there's a computer monitor that is still on. It's displaying an error message. But then in some of the other pictures, there's not very much that looks like it's been knocked over or ransacked. Does that, in your mind, help to rule out any motives?
Well, I don't think they can rule out anything at this stage, Jackie. I'm sure that law enforcement has taken a look at that computer. They've looked around each and every one of these rooms. As you know, this was and is a crime scene. And up until yesterday, the automobiles in front of this crime scene was left in place, frozen in time.
Yeah.
So they have done, meaning law enforcement, a deep scrub of those street theories to try to determine who is or was the killer. And so what they're now doing is through forensics. They are going back. They're looking at the test of the forensics. They know that this was at one time a party house. So they're now trying to do a process of elimination to try to find the killer. They're trying to also talk to anybody who knew any of these 4 students to find out if there were any beefs that anybody would have had against any one of these 4 students that would have led to this kind of a murder.
Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. This is the case of the Idaho 4. As we can see, this was the living room. We can see the fingerprints on the Good Vibes photo. That was one of the 3 unidentified male DNAs. I've always wondered if there was a party that night, a small gathering. Because if you pay attention to the alcohol bottle on the table, you have a lot of plastic cups on the table. You have a bowl for popcorn or crisps or snacks or something. And I don't know if that is red liquid on the wall. It's very heartbreaking. But you can see actually the plastic cups are knocked over. I wonder if the unaliving started from the living room and if Ethan was running towards the bedroom when it happened. Because Ethan was found at the corridor. And we can see the forensic team taking pictures in the corridor. I believe Xana was found on the floor near the door when you enter, because you can see the leaking of the red liquid from the wall. Kaylee and Maddie must have been upstairs. I personally believe Kaylee was in her room because it makes more sense what DM allegedly said. She said she heard Kaylee playing with the dog, and then she heard Kaylee saying, "There's somebody here." So Kaylee was in a room. Maddie could have been asleep because I've never heard anything about Maddie having defensive wounds. I personally believe the timelines were between 3 to 4. I believe something happened to the couple between 2:15 to 2:30. The last person who heard from Ethan was exactly at 2 a.m. He put up the note. He said it was 2:10 to 2:15 when they would have left the Sigma Chi fraternity party. So that wouldn't have put the couple at home by 1:45 like the police are saying. Maddie and Kaylee got home at 1:56. Timelines are important. Kaylee's sister corrected the police and said that Maddie and Kaylee came home at 1:56, but they still did not change the timeline. If DM was in a room, and if things were going on in Xana's room and the living room, she would have heard everything from the very beginning. DM is trying to tell us that she opened her door for the 3rd time and Brian Christopher Koberger passed her and went through the kitchen and out of the sliding door. Look at how narrow and small the corridor is. Look at the steps. She would have heard anyone climbing up the steps, which she did actually hear. She heard rummaging upstairs. Xana's room is not that far away from DM's room. Why did Xana ask her father to come and help her to change Her door locks. Let's see how her door locks look actually. So I'm sure it had a code. Why did she want to change it? Did DM see her code? Let's not forget, it's only DM and Xana who live on the second floor. Was there beef between these two? And why doesn't DM, his witness statements make sense? If somebody passed you in such a narrow, small corridor, and he just went and unalived 4 people, why would he let you survive? You're a witness, you're going to tell on him. The previous timeline was between 3 to 4 a.m. That means DM and BF did not call 911 for 9 hours. Not 8 hours, 9. So DM is trying to tell us he just came from Xana's room, passed her by. He came from upstairs, down the steps, past DM, went to Xana, his room, deleted Xana, passed her by. And she came quite close to him. Let's not forget. She came very close to BK because she said he had bushy eyebrows. To see someone's eyebrows in the darkness doesn't make sense. Why didn't she mention his skin color? Was he white? Was he black? Was he Latino? Was he Asian? Besides the bushy eyebrows, how come DM didn't tell us his skin color? Even the height was wrong because BK is 6'2". He's not 5'10". What did she actually see? Or was this the alibi she built in the 8 hours? Allegedly. The reason I'm saying that is because Chief Fry himself said, I never said the surviving roommates were witnesses. Now that's the chief saying it. So was he in doubt about the surviving roommates? Look at how close DM's room is towards the steps and the kitchen and the corridor. She would have heard everything. She could have called for help.
Roberts with ABC News. Just to follow up on what she asked, so the other 2 roommates were there at the time of the attack?
All the information we have from our investigation is that yes, they were.
Okay, but they were unhurt.
That's correct.
So is there any explanation as to why it took so long then for someone to call 911? You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning and the 911 call didn't come until noon?
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. What if we...
Roberts with ABC News. Just to follow up on what she asked, so the other 2 roommates were there at the time of the attack?
All the information we have from our investigation is that yes, they were.
Okay, but they were unhurt.
That's correct.
So is there any explanation as to why it took so long then for someone to call 911? You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning and the 911 call didn't come until noon?
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not...
I find this to be really important. Chief Fry said to ABC News that he never said that the surviving roommates were witness. He said they were just there. Pay attention to the words. They were just there. Chief Fry said they were not witnesses. When did DM and BF become witnesses? Was it when Brian Christopher Koberger was arrested? Yes. When did the timelines change? When Brian Christopher Koberger was arrested. What did DM know actually about this? Was DM and BF even at home? Because the tripod that was recording behind 1122 Kings Road saw a female yelling and running out of the house from the sliding door at 2 a.m. And the tripod people said that there was a black truck parked outside. Could it be the black truck that DM took a picture with, or could it be the same black truck that Jack D is driving? This picture states it's Jack D and Murphy. And I was wondering why Jack D dyed his hair black, which he did. We saw that at the memorial when he was looking at Steve Goncalves. But I was starting to wonder if this could have actually been Adam, because Adam is much taller than JD. So guys, my question is this Adam? Or is this Jack D with Murphy and the black truck? What interests me is the black truck. Could this be the same black truck that was seen driving on Taylor Avenue when the police was doing the alcohol stop? The tripod said they saw a woman running hysterically from the sliding door to the front of the house, and a black truck was parked outside the house. We saw a black truck driving to Banfield at 3 a.m. and 47 seconds. Is this Adam, guys, or is this Jack D? Let me know in the comments who you think this is. But since it's written as Jack D, I assume it's Jack D. So I want to know who owns this black truck. Where was this black truck on the 13th of November? And I want to know why Jack D dyed his hair. Because the day he came to collect his dog Murphy, his hair was reddish brown, like it was usually. But right after that, and during the memorial service, his hair was really dark black or dark brown. His hands were injured, so this is just my question. I'm not accusing anyone, guys. I just want to get the correct justice for the 4 victims and BK. If he's involved, he deserves whatever's coming to him. But if he's innocent, he is innocent. And he's always innocent until proven guilty. There's a lot of cracks in this case. We can see that. And I find this black truck to be interesting. Now, I want to finally end this clip with something really important that I've been paying attention to. And I believe is really important in this case. And we will definitely find out more about it in the trial.
Last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday, we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
About 3 o'clock on Thursday.
And
Did y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something
Some mail.
that was mail related. So
When's the last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday, we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
About 3 o'clock on Thursday.
And
Did y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to
text.
sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something
Some mail.
that was male related.
Now, I'm sure you'll heard that clearly. The police called the Goncalves family and they wanted them to sign a waiver, a waiver, so that they could investigate something to do with Kaylee's mail. I wonder what was sent to Kaylee's mail. Was it a letter, threat? Money, rugs? I'm just asking. The FBI asked Steve to sign a waiver so that they could go through the mail. I find that to be important. Whoever unlived these 4 students could have been sending mail to Kaylee. And if that is true, obviously, Steve is saying what the FBI told him. That makes me believe more and more that Kaylee was the number 1 target. I believe that all 4 were targets. It was 2 separate incidents, but I believe that all 4 were targets. But I really do believe Kaylee was the main target because Kaylee had a stalker. Kaylee got the most injuries. Kaylee was away for a month. Kaylee had most of the changes going on in her life. She bought herself a new car or a new Jeep. Kaylee was moving away to Austin, Texas. Kaylee wanted to go and travel around for a year. Kaylee had an ex-partner. I wonder how Jack D felt about that. I wonder how John Showalter felt about that. Because he was like a glue over the girls that night at the grub truck. I don't think he was innocently looking after them. He's been kicked out of his fraternity for assaults. Or for, not assaults, but for offenses. He harasses women. And isn't it strange that the plan was carried out the day Kaylee came? So this had to be about Kaylee. But I want to know who owns the black truck. Is it Jack D? I wonder if the FBI and the police investigated this black truck, the whereabouts, where this black truck has been, especially on the 13th of November. Guys, let me know, my dear subscribers and viewers, if you think this is Jack Decor, because that's what's written on the newspaper, and I don't think they would have got it wrong. Or could this be Adam? But they wrote as Jack D. So if this is Jack D, I would love to know why he dyed his hair. What was he hiding? His hand injuries, I would love to know about that. He was one of the last people to be ruled out. Kaylee had the most injuries. The mayor said it was a crime of passion. And I believe Jack D, his alibi isn't strong, just like Beaky's. He went to sleep, but he was at the corner club up to 1:25. I must have taken 5, 10, 15 minutes to come home. Doesn't make sense. Jack D is involved with many cars. A white Hyundai Elantra. I think his family owns that. He owns the white Jeep. And then you have him here with the black truck. He has a white truck usually. But this black truck is really, really interesting for me. This person looks like Adam in a way. But it could be Jack D. And if it's Jack D, it definitely is interesting why he colored his hair. And I really believe it could be Jack D, because Jack D had dark hair. He dyed his hair when he was at the memorial. This white truck was seen in front of the house around 1:40 a.m. It does look like Jack D's white truck. In my opinion. Isn't these two the same truck? The one in front of 1122 Kings Road and the one in front of the Corner Club. The one on the right, you see that white truck driving to the Corner Club when Maddie Cady and John Jack Rogers Showalter were walking down. Looks like this truck is the same identical truck. So you're looking at a white truck, and I showed you the black truck Jack D was driving. What do you think, guys? Is it the same white truck?
Like I said, it's one thing to drink inside, I'm sure. I mean, we've all been to college, we've all been there. But it's another thing to be very publicly intoxicated and kind of
camera video, so hopefully we can give you some perspective. This is Band Field. This is where the alcohol call came in. The young men were here in the field when the police first showed up. That is the Sigma Chi fraternity house right there. So the police walked those young men across the street. This is Taylor Avenue, right to this spot right here. I was able to identify it because of the fire extinguisher. And they were standing in this spot. The young men, and the body camera video was pointed this way, and it is over my shoulder where you could see very faintly what looked like several people walking fast or almost running by in the background. And I want to walk you over actually and give you a little more perspective. It was somewhere in this area right here, and we can tell because we analyzed these lights.